What's up, YouTube? It's Derek, YouTube channel Fast FZ09. I want to do a little bit different type of video today, more of a discussion video. Give you my opinion on two topics, and hopefully get y'all's opinion in return and see what you guys have to say about it. So, the first topic is where you live has a huge role in what kind of rider that you are and what kind of riding that you do. And the second topic is when it comes to your riding, are you more quantity or are you more quality? So all right, so first topic is where you live affects the kind of riding that you do. Different parts of the country and the states have all different types of topography, different weather, the quality of the roads based on how much each state spends on infrastructure is different. So some states have really, really good roads as far as the pavement, and other states not so much. I live in North Carolina, and here the government fortunately spends a lot of money towards infrastructure. So the quality of the pavement is really good. You're still going to have shitty roads, obviously. No place is perfect, but the vast majority of the roads in North Carolina are really good. And especially if you go from like the Piedmont Triad, which is where I live, kind of in the middle part of the state, and you head in the foothills like around Wilkesboro, or you go all the way to Boone in West North Carolina or Asheville, the pavement, especially in the mountains and foothills, is just, it's incredible. I mean, it's just so smooth and ripple free, and you're still going to have a little bit of gravel on the roads, but that's anywhere. But the actual quality of the pavement is just amazing, actually. And I'm kind of biased because I live here, but for those of you that might be from other parts of the country, if you've ever had to ride or drive through North Carolina, I'm sure a lot of people have said, damn, the roads in that state are pretty freaking good compared to where I live. So I'm fortunate in that regard. Like for example, if you live, let's say that you live in Florida, or you live way down south somewhere, you're going to get to ride year round because the weather is going to allow you to do that. It's, you don't have any snow or anything in Florida, but you're probably not going to be the best guy when it comes to going to the mountains or riding a lot of elevation changes, or riding at a track that has a lot of elevation change like VIR, Summit Point, or Barber or somewhere. You can ride at Jennings in Florida, which is cool, but it's all flat. There's no elevation change there. But guys in Florida, they just simply don't have the roads to consistently ride on to get good at riding twisties, or that kind of riding. But they are good at riding wheelies. Some of the best riders as far as wheelies go, some of the best wheelie riders in the country come out of Florida. A lot of drag racers down there, a lot of guys that are into drag bikes and wheelies or stunt bikes, and that's kind of the motorcycle culture in that region because it's dictated by the topography and by where guys have access to ride at. Weather can play a huge part in it. Just like I said, down south they can ride 12 months out of the year. Well, if you get up around like Ohio or Pennsylvania, or upstate New York, any of the states kind of in the Rust Belt or in the around the Great Lakes region, they got some pretty hellacious winters up there. Here in North Carolina, we get snow every year, snow and ice, but it ain't shit compared to what they get up north. Last year, you saw in the news every day that they're getting literally like fucking feet of snow. So those guys are limited because they don't get to ride as much because their winters are a lot longer, and then their roads in that part of the country are usually tore all to shit because they have so many snow plows. They have so much salt built up on the roads. The temperatures are so freaking cold all the time. Water gets in the expansion joints in the road and expands and cracks, and you got potholes and ripples, and the road quality is just not that good. So you hear a lot of guys from up north talking about, oh man, our roads up here are shit, and that's no fault of their own. That's just that area of the country, the weather just really puts a hurting on the road systems. So what I'm saying is based on where you live, the motorcycle culture of that area is kind of dictated by what you have access to. like in North Carolina, especially Western North Carolina, once you get up around like Wilkesboro, Boone, up around the Appalachian Mountain chain, you start seeing a lot of guys in on sport bikes or street fighters, or naked bikes, and or motards even, and they're in full track gear, full track leathers, back protectors, then in full gear, and they're riding at a spirited pace, and that's not like you're not like, oh shit, damn, I've never seen that before, because you see it all the time, because it's a culture thing. That kind of riding is something that in that part of the country, a lot of guys like when I say part of the country, I mean Western North Carolina, Eastern Tennessee, parts of Southern Virginia, that kind of collective area. There's a lot of guys that do that kind of riding and are very enthusiastic about it, and they're really, really good at it because they've been doing it for a long time, and they've developed the skill set to do it consistently and to do it relatively safely for what it is that they're doing. So culture is kind of dictated by the collective consciousness of the riders in whatever area that you live in. So I'm anxious to hear what you guys have to say about that. See if from different areas, and kind of see kind of what the motorcycle culture in your part of the country, or I mean hell, your part of the world is if you're not in the United States. But the other thing that I want to talk about is real quick is, are you a quality guy or a quantity guy when it comes to, or girl, when it comes to your riding? Back when I first started riding sport bikes, which was back in the day, back around like 2001, 2002, I was working at a dealership at the time and got to ride a lot of bikes through the dealership, and then ended up getting a 2004 R6 after I've been riding for a little bit, and I put like 45,000 miles on that R6 in like 3 years. I was definitely at that stage of my riding career, in my early 20s, I was definitely a quantity guy. Like, I didn't give a shit if I was riding my bike to the drugstore, or I was riding to get Chinese takeout, or I was riding to school, or I was riding to work, or I was riding to meet my friends, or I was just riding to ride. All I wanted to do was ride that motorcycle because it was new for me. It was something different. I wanted to learn how to do it. Was all that, in my opinion now, was all that quality riding? No, it wasn't. In my opinion, I've found that the older I've gotten, and the more seat time I have on the motorcycle, and the better I've gotten at riding in general, I tend to like a certain type of riding, which is either track riding or riding at a spirited pace, on a back road somewhere up in the mountains. That's just kind of the group of guys that I fell in with years ago. That's what they did, and I got to hanging out with them, and they were really good at it. And over time, over years, I got to the point where I could ride at that level as well. And that's just what I enjoy now. Some guys enjoy cruising. Some guys enjoy commuting on their bikes. Some guys are stunt riders. Different people. That term quality riding is going to mean different things to different people. What I find is quality riding is in the mountains on a weekend with perfect weather, with fresh tires on my bike, and you just kind of find that back road that you either know, or it might be a new road that you discovered, and you're with your buddies, kind of in a train of riders, and I don't know, everything is just clicking. The tires are up to temperature, the tires are hot, the pavement is perfect. You're kind of in that groove. You feel the bike suspension working. You're on the brakes at just the right time. You're rolling on throttle at just the right time, and kind of you're just in that rhythm with the road. And that's personally what I enjoy doing. So I'm fine if I don't get to ride my bike, but 2 days a month or 3 days a month. But when I do get on it, if I get to go experience the kind of riding that I personally enjoy, then it's worth the trade-off. I'm not getting as much quantity, but the quality of the riding that I'm getting in, to me, that's quality. So, you know, that might be, you guys might share that same sentiment. You might have the same opinion. You might disagree with that. But, you know, I'm anxious to hear what you guys think, because, you know, to elaborate more on like what quality riding is to me, that's like up in the mountains with my buddies. You know, you got an awesome, you know, route mapped out or whatever. You're trying something new. Go up to like just a hole in the wall restaurant or a place that you frequent on a regular basis, and you're hanging out with your buddies. You're having an awesome ride, awesome day, and you're talking about the ride. Or you're just shooting the shit or bullshitting with the guys that you're riding with, and everybody's safe. And you know, if you got your GoPro or something, maybe you're shooting some cool video, and you guys can all check it out later. Or just kind of just the camaraderie of that is what I find appealing. So I'd like to hear back from anybody that views the video, whether you're a new rider, whether you're an intermediate rider, you know, an expert level rider. Maybe you just solely ride on the track, or you solely ride in the mountains, or you are a drag racer, or you're a stunt rider, or you just like to cruise your bike, which there's nothing wrong with that either. I'm anxious to hear back from you guys. So leave a comment in the comments section about, like, you know, where, maybe say where you live and what kind of riding you do in that area, or the overall motorcycle culture where you live or where you ride on a regular basis. And yeah, if you guys like the channel enough, you know, by all means subscribe to it, or just like this video, or leave a comment and give me some kind of feedback. But something a little bit different today, so I'm anxious to hear you know, opinions and reactions to that, and kind of have a discussion about it. So either way, appreciate you guys watching. Hit me up, and thanks for watching the video, and, you know, ride safe. So cool. Thanks, guys.